They are continuing to attack Dr. Anthony Fauci. They want to see him in prison. Many of them do. For what crime, we don't really know. And the latest is that Donald Trump's former economic advisor, Peter Navarro, says that he will force Fauci to admit that he created COVID. Now, how that, if it's the China virus, as they say, and China created it, how is it that Fauci created it? It doesn't really make sense. We're going to look at this clip and consider how extreme, how dangerous, how disturbing it is that they want to go after medical doctors who just give us their best advice at the time. These are sick people. Here's Peter Navarro on Newsmax. Listen to this.
Here's your future, Tony. Republicans are going to sweep and take the House back from Nancy Pelosi. And as soon as that happens, you're going to sit your ass down in a chair in Congress and you're going to confess to creating the virus that's killed almost 1 million Americans now, all on your watch, sir. And then we're going to figure out.
He's talking about Fauci again, just as a reminder.
All the special deals you had with all those grant money things. And we're going to fit you for an orange jumpsuit, Tony. You can count on that. So don't be smug on CNN, dude. Here's your future.
Okay. So this is all a reaction to a comment that Dr. Fauci recently made. Dr. Fauci was asked, he served under Donald Trump. He was made chief medical advisor under Joe Biden. And he was asked, if Trump comes back in 2024, would you serve under Trump? And Fauci essentially said no. Now, I actually think that it's sort of a non-question. Anthony Fauci is now, what is he? Is he 81? He's 81 years old. If and when Trump comes back, he would be close to 85 years old. I anticipate that Dr. Fauci is going to be retiring in the next few years. So at the end of the day, I don't really believe it's even a choice Dr. Fauci would be making. Will I or won't I stay under Donald Trump? I could be wrong. But it is to some degree a political statement. I mean, Dr. Fauci is saying it was so crazy trying to deal with COVID under Trump that if Trump comes back, I'm out. That's fine. Why is the right obsessed with going after medical doctors? Well, one of the answers is their political ideology that they espouse since the start of the pandemic. Be very skeptical of vaccines, be skeptical of masks, be skeptical of whether staying away from people physically even really prevents the spread of the virus, being skeptical about the fact that this is much more deadly than the flu, all of these different things. All of the political position, all of the medical positions that they staked out were not really medical positions. They weren't really science-based positions. They were political positions made to perpetuate their own ideology of so-called freedom and all these different things, and to make Donald Trump's failed response look less bad or to even look good, if you can imagine it. And so when that's the political position that you stake out, you have to make those who have a different view your enemies. And the medical science community had a different view. The medical science community had views that differed about guidelines, safety guidelines, vaccines, masking, all these different things. And so you have to make them your enemies. And that is it's a feature rather than a bug of modern reactionary politics. It's not just, we kind of have like a different perspective about the correct level of taxes or whatever the case may be, which is like, okay, well, we can disagree, but it's not I would argue it's pretty clear what is better economically when it comes to taxes, but there is more of like an ideology associated with it and the spirit of what the government should be doing in terms of taxation. Okay, with a lot of these COVID related things, it's just the science. That's all it is. And when you are basing your politics on reactionary fear mongering and arguing that those with a different view are evil and on and on and on, when that's your perspective, you have to attack everybody and make everybody your enemy. And so doctors become your enemy. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, I want to go back to the obvious hypocrisy. Trump called it the China virus. China did it. China created it. But at the same time, they want to blame Dr. Fauci. It seems like hypocrisy. But remember, hypocrisy has no bottom or no top, I guess, depending on your perspective with the modern right wing. So what will they come up with? I am sure that they will say, well, no, Fauci had and funded China creating it. That's how they will square the two. Peter Navarro really makes My Pillow Mike Lindell seem like kind of a reasonable guy. He makes him seem almost sane. And the really scary part is that the rhetoric is becoming more overtly violent. Even now talking about imprisoning or going after medical doctors. And they're doing it all out in the open. It's becoming normal. It's extraordinarily unsettling how comfortable the modern American right is with threats of violence, threats of suspending due process, and just jail people. Just put them in jail. Very, very scary stuff.